Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Dreamcast review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at King of Fighters 2000, which if you've never played it before, it's a fighting game, and it's, well, I don't really know how to explain it. It's a lot different to the usual King of Fighter game. As far as I'm aware, it's one of only 3. It might just be that it's one of only 3 on the Dreamcast, but it employs something called the striker system, and that's where the difference is, and I will explain that in a second. But for now, you've got team play, team versus, single player, single versus. They're pretty self-explanatory. You either play through the story as a team, or you play through as a single, and you can either versus a team or versus a single. You then got practice mode and gallery, which are self-explanatory. Options, you can change the difficulty from 1 to 8, you can change key config, a few battle things like power gauge, strikers, single points, things like that. You can then change your sound, your music, you can change a few things on memory card and that by like allowing auto save on and stuff like that. But the striker system. First up, as you might notice, there are a lot of people that play as on here. And one of the cool things that I'm actually going to show off straight away is that you can do roulette, and roulette will randomise your characters, and it will randomise them every single fight. So, not every round, but every fight. So that's something incredibly cool about the game that I really like. I mentioned it in the last King of Fighters review, and I love it in this one. So I'm just going to simply choose 3 people, and you might have noticed there was a 4th there. Now out of that 4th I can get Jun, who I got in the random, or I can choose Beardle. And it's because depending on who you choose and who you leave, depends on what striker you can have, and it depends on what team you get, again depends on what striker you have. And the strikers are, I suppose, the closest way and best way to describe them is if you've ever played Marvel vs. Capcom 1, then you'll know that it randomised choosing one of the Marvel or Capcom characters, and then you could call them in for an assist, but you had a limit on them. Well, that's what strikers are, and that's what those little balls are at the bottom of the screen, and it's why the power gauge is actually higher up. Now, the power gauge, you can fill it up, and it takes 3 bars to fill, and then you can use counter mode or armor mode, which I'll at least try and show one off, or you can taunt, and you can immediately get one of your striker balls back, because you might have noticed we've each got 3, but I've now used one of mine. Whenever a round then goes, you get 1 more slot and 1 more ball, at least if you've set it up that way, because if you put it on, you start with 5, then I don't think you can go up to 6. It's part of why I always start on 3, for strategic reasons of if I lose someone, then at least I gain another striker and another slot. So you might notice there that the computer now has 4 balls instead of 3. And that's because he has 4 striker assists instead of, well, obviously 3. But it's one of those. I've now filled my power gauge, so now I need to remember what my button config is for the pad, because I'm used to playing on a fight stick, and I need to basically try and activate, there you go, armor mode. So I'm now covered in essentially in a layer of armor, and it just beefs up your defense, and it allows you to, well, I suppose, go more on the offense, because it's not a case of it beefs up your defense so you can then just sit and hide. It's designed so that you can then go in all out attack and not have to worry about your defense, and it's really cool. Same as counter obviously helps you with, well, countering situations and things. Unfortunately, it's the one that I'm not really that good at, and it's the one that I can't really understand how to use properly, because what with this being a Japanese game and the manual in Japanese, I can't really find out exactly how to use it properly. So there's probably some mad ravenous King of Fighters fanboy out there, and that's not a slight or anything, that's not having a go, but there's someone probably sitting there watching this about ready to let loose, and all I see is be kind. I did try my best to research things, but when you can't read kanji, it's a little hard. And I just basically went with the old play by learning, and I'm still not very good with it, so I tend to stick with the armor mode. So here again, as you've seen, I've randomised, so I'll choose that, and that then leaves me a choice of Seth or Diamond for me striker. And some strikers are more offense, some are more defense, some tend to be there to break up when you're getting the crap kicked out of you, others are there to help you kick the crap out of others in the way of a combo. I've seen people online just do absolutely amazing stuff with characters, like 15-20 hit combos with the use of strikers by using them at the right time and in the right place, and it really is, it's magical watching them play. But what can I really say about the game other than the obvious, that you kick the crap out of your opponent, you go on, you do the next one, you go on to the next fight, you do it all over again. It's standard fighter setup. The striker system is what makes us unique. And a lot of people absolutely hate the striker setup and have a right go at the game for it. And others say that it's really good and things like that. And basically when I was researching into it, the sole reason I got it is because you can actually have characters from other games than King of Fighters, which I thought was incredibly cool. There's like Metal Slug characters in there, and there's characters from obscure Neo Geo games that you may not have even heard of, and it's just mental. The fan service that they did with it. There's even a costume, well, not a costume, a cosplayer in there. Someone who loved Kyo, I believe it was, so much that they then made a female version called Kyoko and went to cosplay and got like loads of fans going, oh, I love what you did there, so they actually put her in the game as a striker. And it's absolutely fantastic, the fan service that they've done with it. It's why I at least wanted to give the game a try, because even though there's a lot of people slating it, there are a lot of other people saying it's great, and I think it is just one of those things, different horses for different courses, or whatever the saying actually is. It might be different courses for different horses, but if you like the Marvel vs. Capcom games, then I definitely think it's one to look into. If you absolutely hated them and love King of Fighters and thought, well, you might get this because it might be different, then I don't think you'd really be that impressed with it, because it is the sort of thing that it is more of one than the other, I suppose. I mean, it's obviously King of Fighters, it's got the pedigree, it's got the same great combat and balancing and things, but the striker system does make it a completely different game. What I can see is, out of the three that I researched into, 99 Evolution, 2000 and 2001 are the three with the striker system. And 99 Evolution, loads of people slated it, saying it was really bad because it was the first time it was implemented. 2000 was this one, obviously, and loads of people are saying that actually it worked really well because they managed to fix it and tweak it. And 2001, I heard people saying that they went overboard, and they basically went from being really bad and really pointless to getting it just right to going the exact opposite direction and making it too reliant on strikers and stuff. From what I could gather, that's what people were complaining about. So it's the sort of thing that a load of people, when I was asking about it, said only get 2000. It's the only one that's worth its salt, really. So I'm at least passing that information on, try and warn you, the viewer, in case you're thinking, well, I'll just get all three because if I like one. Because in actual fact, it's a case of if you like one doesn't mean you're going to like the others, not necessarily. You may like them, you may hate them, but I'm just passing on the information and the warning, I suppose. So I'll shut up for a bit of the music. Graphically, as you can see, it's really good. And at least this one works on VGA, unlike 99 Dream Match, unfortunately. But I'll shut up for a bit of the music and then I'll just finish off the vid. So that was a little bit of the music. Whilst in the music, I did try my best to research again, and basically it's armor mode doubles your defense, which I pretty much knew that and kind of explained it, but counter mode doubles your reversal ability, and as you can see when I used it there, I still wasn't particularly any good with it at all whatsoever. So it's just one of those I always tend to activate armor. At least it gives you the choice. One other cool thing that I forgot to actually pull off there, probably because I wanted to leave counter mode on for longer, is because the fact that I've already mentioned you can, when you fill up a power bar, actually gain back one of your strikers. Well, when you're actually in counter and armor mode, you can do it as well. It just reduces how long you can be in counter and armor mode, so I think that's really cool as well. There's a couple of hidden strikers to get, and there's one hidden character, but I think it's Zero, the boss, and I think you can only use them in a specific way in practice or something, and you can't use strikers with them. It's something really weird like that. But yeah, there's nothing much else I can really say about the game other than that if you are into fighters as a whole, it's definitely worth getting. If you're getting into King of Fighters and you're loving the old ones, then be wary about getting one of the ones with strikers. And if you're just new to fighting games overall, then this is probably a really good place to start, because if you enjoy it, then you might absolutely love the other King of Fighter games like 99 and 2002 and still be able to enjoy this one. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.